To date, the 7-seater Renault Grand Scénic has been outsold in the UK by its 5th Scénic sibling at a ratio of 3:1. However, with the launch of this 4th-generation iteration of a car that pretty much invented the compact MPV segment some 20 years ago, Renault suggests that the two models may achieve something akin to sales parity this time around. Entering a marketplace already bustling with the likes of the Citroën Grand C4 Picasso, the Ford Grand Max and the evergreen Vauxhall Zafira Tourer, the Grand Scénic walks a fine line between embracing the sport utility vehicle and crossover styling currently enjoying ubiquitous popularity, and continuing to fulfill the remit of a true multi-purpose vehicle MPV. Design overhaul, hence the rather elegant and somewhat unconventional exterior design sharing its lesser siblings crossover like lower roofline and SUV-ish 40mm increase in ground clearance, perched upon whopping great 20-inch wheels across the entire model range, a rare instance of the finished article boasting even bigger than an archetypal motor show concept vehicle. On board, the business end of the cabin has also been subjected to some proper styling. Gone are the grinning emoticon panels that once identified Renault instrument panels the brand over, replaced by a new dashboard console, set in a sea of somewhat somber but well-made and soft-touch materials. The console houses a 7 or 8.7-inch touch screen, the latter for control of Renault's Link 2 infotainment system. Flexibility levels compromised, though the cabin occupies an entirely MPV-like 80% of the body shell, itself 23 centimeters longer than that of the standard Scénic, with the extra space split between the load space and the wheelbase. The rear seating is not as flexible as that found in the outgoing model. Granted, the rear two-seating tiers will flop flat with all the alacrity of a house of cards in a hailstorm, but they're no longer removable with the aid of a hernia truss, and the sliding middle row seats are now split just 60 hours 40 minutes instead of into 3. A pity, being able to slide the center seat out of line was the best way of easing shoulder rub with 3 prop forwards abreast. A deal of juggling with middle row positioning is also necessary to offer anything approaching adequate knee room in both second and third tiers simultaneously. Any combination of both tiers of rear seats may be lowered at the touch of a load space wall-mounted button, or via one of the multimedia system's endless menus, to give a flat floor. Typical of any 7-seat format, load space with all seats in play feels a tad residual, at just 233 litres. Petrol, diesel and hybrid power choices. The Grand Scénic will be available with a choice of 6 engines, 2 turbocharged petrol units, 3 diesel turbodiesels and, built around the least powerful diesel, a hybrid assist power plant. This latter is interesting not only for offering an 810% reduction in fuel consumption and CO2 emissions over the standard diesel, but also because it's rare for a hybrid powertrain to be mated to a manual transmission. These engine options are spread across a formidable lineup of Expression Plus, Dynamic NAF, Dynamic S-NAF and Signature NAF. Standard specification levels seem generous, and all versions are packed to the rafters with sufficient safety technology to reap a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Comfortable but could be better, with accurate steering that's as numb as a dental patient's mouth and more than a whiff of body roll. The Grand Scénic isn't a car you'll particularly enjoy hustling through the corners. We're happy with that, though, believing such family-oriented machines should major in ride quality. Sadly, the Grand Scénic somewhat lets the side down in this respect. Despite those massive wheels, ride quality is ostensibly quite comfortable, but it struggles to remain supple at low speeds, crashing over obstacles of the kind that blight British roads. Happily it does settle down as speeds rise, making the Grand Scénic happier stumbling in a cruise the quietness of which is shattered by a deal of wind noise from the door mirrors as speeds rise. So, the Grand Scénic is a handsome eft which, though it makes many welcome concessions to the SUV and crossover genres in the realms of design, cabin quality and equipment specification, still manages to tick enough MPV flexibility and practicality boxes to merit consideration. In all, a significant improvement over its predecessor. At launch, a choice of 6 engines is offered, all with a 6-speed manual gearbox as standard with a twin-clutch automatic available on the least and most powerful diesels. Duo of petrol choices, it's 115 1.0 litre, 115 horsepower, 190 Newton meters turbo petrol, 6-speed manual. 0-62 miles per hour in 13.0 seconds, max speed 114 miles per hour, 46.3 miles per gallon, 136 GkM CO2. It's 131.2 litre, 130 horsepower, 205 Newton meters turbo petrol, 6-speed manual. 0-62 miles per hour in 11.9 seconds, max speed 117 miles per hour, 46.3 miles per gallon, 136 GkM CO2. The turbocharged petrol engines are both reasonably refined but do need working hard to heft this 7-seater around. They are eager to rev, but even so, performance figures are hard to match in the real world. 3 diesels expected to be more popular. Diesel 110 1.5 litre, 110 horsepower, 260 Newton meters turbo diesel, 6-speed manual or dual clutch auto. 0-62 miles per hour in 12.4 seconds, max speed 114 miles per hour, 70.6 miles per gallon, 104 GkM CO2. Diesel 131.6 litre, 130 horsepower, 320 Newton meters turbo diesel, 6-speed manual. 0-62 miles per hour in 11.4 seconds, max speed 118 miles per hour, 61.4 miles per gallon, 119 GkM CO2. Diesel 161.6 litre, 160 horsepower, 380 Newton meters turbo diesel, dual clutch auto. 0-62 miles per hour in 10.7 seconds, max speed 124 miles per hour, 60.1 miles per gallon, 122 GkM CO2. Mated to a smooth twin-clutch automatic transmission, the 160 horsepower turbo diesel feels a better fit for 3 reasons. Firstly, it offers better low-down torque for greater urgency off the line and during overtaking. Secondly, the Grand Scenic's family-oriented design lends itself ideally to an automatic gearbox, and, thirdly, the diesel doesn't have to try so hard to maintain a high-speed cruise, and is therefore often inaudible beneath the door mirror wind noise. Unusual diesel-electric hybrid. Diesel 110 hybrid assist 1.5 litre, 110 horsepower, 260 Newton meters hybrid assist turbo diesel with 10 kilowatts electric motor, 6-speed manual. 0-62 miles per hour now, max speed now, 80.7 miles per gallon, 92 GkM CO2. Hybrid assist is an affordable way for Renault to enter the part electrically powered arena. Rather than building the electric motor into the gearbox, it takes the place of the alternator alongside the engine, and takes power from an 11 kg lithium-ion battery pack under the boot floor. Tax significant 810% reduction in fuel consumption and CO2 emissions aside, Renault quotes identical performance figures for this unit and the standard 110 horsepower turbo diesel, suggesting the extra 44 kg weight of hybrid componentry balances out any performance advantage. A brief drive does however suggest it adds sprightliness in the urban environment, thanks to an electric motor's ability to generate maximum torque from 0 revs.